How do you add words without adding a bunch of unnecessary stuff to the book? My name is Gina. I'm an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing better. John actually says I'm about 80% of the way through my outline. And it looks like it's going to be around 55,000 words, which seems too short. And I would agree with you. I think that is probably too short, but not necessarily. So I do want to pause and give some space to the idea that this might just be a short novel. There is space in the market for shorter books. There are some genres that lend themselves to this shorter length. 55 to 60,000 words is not unreasonable for genre romance, for cozy mysteries, for cozy westerns. There's definitely space, and even some literary novels can be quite short indeed. This is not necessarily a deal breaker all on its own. That word count would give me pause to wonder whether or not we are being immersive enough. Now, if you are in historical science fiction, fantasy, this is unlikely to be immersive enough. So you can see there are some genres that really lend themselves to a short word count. There are some that really lend themselves to a longer word count. And then there's some that are kind of in between, neither here nor there. I would be nervous about this being immersive enough. So if we are worried about things being immersive enough, there's a couple of things that you're going to want to look at. So one is character interiority, and one is the setting that you are moving through. I'm going to start with the world building. I'm going to start with the setting. So are you making sure to describe the setting in a way that feels immersive, which means that you do not walk into a room. This is bad. Do not do it this way. Walk into a room and then take a look around and describe all of the things that you are seeing. Especially do not do this if it is a familiar space. You do not walk into your home, stand still, and describe the way everything looks when you are coming home. Instead, you are going to describe the things as you interact with them. So you drop, you open up the big, heavy wooden front door that creaks a little bit because you never got around to oiling the hinges. Then you drop your bag on the rickety table by the front door and hang your keys on the hook so that way your cat doesn't steal them. You take off your shoes and put them in the pile, right? So you move through the world and you move through the setting and you interact with it in a way that feels organic and feels natural and therefore demonstrates something about the character and the world that they are inhabiting. To do this to avoid a white room syndrome, and you want to make that setting feel lush and immersive without feeling like you are giving a tour of the room. And second, we're going to focus on character interiority. So if you already have a draft, I want you to go around and look for any place in which you say an emotion baldly and plainly on the page. So if you say Joe was happy, that does not feel immersive, and that also, I don't believe you. Instead, you're going to have Joe come into the room laughing and clutching a letter in his hand. His eyes are bright, and he's saying, I did it, I did it, I did it. And he picks his girlfriend up and swings her around in a circle while she laughs and hugs him, and they cheer and whoop and holler. You just showed me how happy Joe is. It's also extremely immersive. It is also much more believable. I also know a little bit about this. He just received news of something that he's been working on for a long time. This is going to impact the girlfriend in some way. So I now know a little bit more about what is happening, what matters to Joe, who matters to Joe, what matters. You're giving us so much more than just Joe was happy. So if you're trying to bulk up word count without adding unnecessary detail, look at character interiority and look at your setting and work those things in a very immersive and organic way.